Meet the meteorite hunter. Michael Farmer is a meteorite hunter. Here, he talks about his unusual job. What's the hardest part of your job?
I'm always looking for new pieces of meteorite rock, so I have to travel a lot. I've been to about 70 countries or so. The job can be dangerous because some rocks are worth a lot. On one such trip, I was robbed and almost killed. That was scary. There are other issues too. It's illegal to take meteorite pieces from some countries, so you have to be very careful and learn the law. It's different everywhere.
Are there a lot of meteorite pieces on Earth?
Yes, there are millions, but most land in the forest, jungle, or ocean. They're impossible to locate. One of the best places to find pieces is in the Sahara Desert in Africa. You can see them easily in the sand. The heat also preserves the rocks well.
What's the most valuable meteorite you found?
I found one piece in the Middle East, and I sold it for $100,000. It was a small piece, about the size of a walnut. But the most valuable was in Canada. 3 partners and I discovered a very rare type of meteorite called a palisite. It weighed 53 kilos, 117 pounds, and it's around 4.5 billion years old. We sold it to the Canadian government for just under $1 million. Now it's in the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto. It's a national treasure.
Who else buys the rocks from you?
Museums and private collectors are always calling me. New meteorites are in demand, and so they sell quickly. I also sell them to a lot of scientists. They don't have the time or money to search for these rocks. Without the help of hunters, 99% of these meteorites would be lost to science. Smoke jumpers. Every year, wildfires destroy millions of hectares of forest land. Homes are damaged and thousands of people die. Smoke jumpers help to stop this. What is a smoke jumper? Smoke jumpers are a special type of firefighter. They jump from planes or are lowered by helicopters into areas that are difficult to reach by car or on foot, such as the middle of a mountain forest. They race to put out fires as fast as they can. What do smoke jumpers do? At a fire site, smoke jumpers first examine the land and decide how to fight the fire. Their main goal is to stop a fire from spreading. Using basic equipment such as shovels and axes, smoke jumpers clear land of burnable material like plants and other dry material. They carry water with them too, but only a limited amount. Who can be a smoke jumper? Although the majority of smoke jumpers are men, more women are joining. Most important are your height and weight. Smoke jumpers employed in the U.S., for example, must be 120 to 200 pounds, 54 to 91 kilograms, so they don't get blown away by the strong winds or get hurt when they land. Smoke jumpers must also be capable of surviving in the wilderness. In Russia, many smoke jumpers know how to find food in the forest and even make simple furniture from trees. The work is dangerous and the hours are long. But for these firefighters, smoke jumping isn't just an occupation. They love being able to jump out of planes, fight fires, and live in the forest. As 28-year-old Russian smoke jumper Alexei Tishin says, "This is the best job for tough guys."
the army's true colors. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, accomplished a huge amount during his rule. Between 221 and 210 BC, he started the construction of the Great Wall. He built a large network of roads. He introduced a new writing system, currency, and set of measurements. The emperor also ordered the construction of a huge army of life-size terracotta soldiers. These, he hoped, would protect his tomb after his death. Lost in time. The soldiers in Xi'an's Terracotta Museum are today light brown, but they weren't always. They began as an army of red, blue, yellow, green, white, and purple. Sadly, most of the colors did not last to the present day. After being exposed to air during excavation, the coating under the paint began to fall off. The paint disappeared in less time than it takes to boil an egg, taking with it important pieces of history. New techniques. Now new techniques are starting to reveal the Army's true colors. Archaeologists have recently discovered an area with more than 100 soldiers. Many of these still have their painted features, including black hair, pink faces, and black or brown eyes. Chinese and German researchers have developed a special liquid to help preserve the soldiers' colors. After they find a soldier or other artifact, archaeologists spray it with the liquid. They then cover it in plastic. Back to life. Archaeologists are also finding colors in the dirt around the soldiers. It's important not to disturb the dirt so the colors won't be lost. We are treating the earth as an artifact, says archaeologist Rongbo, the museum's leading chemist. The next challenge, says Rong, is to find a way to apply the colors to the army again. Once that happens, artists can bring Emperor Qin's army back to life in full, vivid color.
Wonders of Egypt. For centuries, the pyramids of Giza have been timeless symbols of Egyptian culture. But who actually built them? For years, we did not know for sure. But archaeologists recently discovered an ancient village near the pyramids. Close by, there was a cemetery where pyramid builders were buried. From studying these places, archaeologists can now confirm that the pyramids were not built by slaves or foreigners or space aliens. Ordinary Egyptians built them. It took about 80 years to build the pyramids. According to archaeologists, about 20,000 to 30,000 people were involved in completing the task. The workers had different roles. Some dug up the rock, some moved it, and some shaped it into blocks. People also worked on different teams, each with its own name. These teams often competed to do a job faster. A pyramid builder's life. Life for these workers was hard. We can see that in their skeletons, says Azza Mohammed Sari Eldin, a scientist studying bodies found in the cemetery. The bones show signs of arthritis, which developed from carrying heavy things for a long time. Archaeologists have also found many female skeletons in the village and cemetery. The damage to their bones is similar to that of the men. Their lives may have been even tougher. Male workers lived to age 40 to 45, but women to only 30 to 35. However, Workers usually had enough food, and they also had medical care if they got sick or hurt. The work was challenging, but laborers were proud of their work. On a wall in Khufu's Great Pyramid, for example, a group of workers wrote, "Friends of Khufu." It's because they were not just building the tomb of their king, says Egyptian archaeologist Zawi Hawass. They were building Egypt. It was a national project, and everyone was a participant.
Pirates, romance and reality. In the movies, pirates have exciting and adventurous lives. But what was life actually like for an 18th century pirate? Which aspects of the movie pirate are real and which are invented? A pirate's life. While movie pirates are men in search of adventure, the average pirate was usually trying to escape from a difficult life. Some were ex-sailors who were treated poorly on their ships. Others were escaped slaves who wanted their freedom. They came from many different backgrounds, but on a pirate ship, equality was important. Men elected their captain and created the ship's rules together. The men also divided the income from stolen goods, and they shared these earnings fairly. Pirate treasure. In movies, pirates have chests full of gold and piles of money stolen from other people. However, it was far more common for pirates to steal things like cloth, spices, and even medicine. They often sold these things. Of course, purchasing stolen goods from pirates was illegal, but many people did it. Also, unlike movie pirates, real pirates didn't bury their money, says Kari Convertito, who works at a maritime museum in the U.S. They blew it as soon as they could on women and booze. Pirate style. Movie pirates often wear eye patches and have wooden legs. Many real pirates also looked like this. Why? One factor was the poor living conditions. Life at sea was hard and dangerous, says David Moore, a maritime museum employee in the U.S. Disease was also common. For these reasons, some pirates lost eyes and legs. But many pirates did one thing for their health. They wore earrings, just like in the movies. They believed putting weight on the ears stopped seasickness.
Women of the waves. Throughout history, the majority of pirates have been men. But were there any women pirates? Absolutely. Below are two from different parts of the world. Mary Read, pirate in disguise. Mary Read was born in England around 1690. She lived most of her life disguised as a man. As a teenager, looking for adventure, she dressed as a boy and got a job at sea. Later, as a young woman, still pretending to be a man, she found work on a ship and sailed to the Caribbean. On one journey, pirates attacked Mary's ship. Instead of fighting, she joined them. But Mary had to be careful because many pirate ships had a rule: no women allowed. If the men discovered her true identity, they might shoot and kill her. So at first, Mary stayed by herself and avoided the others. But soon, she made a surprising discovery. One of the pirates on the ship was actually a woman. Anne Bonny, was the captain's girlfriend, but she was also a pirate herself. Mary told Anne her secret, and the two women became good friends and powerful fighters. They fought together until they were captured in 1720. Qing Shi, Pirate Queen. In the early 1800s, pirate Qing Shi terrorized the Chinese coast. When her powerful pirate husband died, control of his 500 junks transferred to Qing Shi. While she was in charge, she expanded her fleet to almost 2,000 ships. A fearless fighter, Qing Shi led nearly 80,000 pirates, both men and women. They targeted ships and towns along the coast of China. For years, leaders throughout the region failed to stop her. Eventually, Qing Shi retired, a rich and respected woman.
Mystery on Everest. Were Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay really the first people to reach the top of Mount Everest? Some believe British climbers George Mallory and Andrew Irvine reached the summit before them in June 1924. Unfortunately, this is hard to prove because both men vanished on the mountain. A body in the snow. In 1999, a team of climbers visited Everest, hoping to solve this mystery. Near Everest's first step, on the way to the summit, the team found Mallory's oxygen tank, evidence that he and Irvine were near the top. Close by, a member of the team, Conrad Anker, discovered Mallory's body. In addition, when the team examined Mallory's body, they found items like a knife and matches, but no photos. Why is this significant? Mallory carried a photo of his wife with him. He planned to leave it at the top of Everest if he reached the summit. First to the top? Did Mallory and Irvine achieve their goal and reach the top? Probably not, says Anker. Here's why. Difficult path, poor equipment. Mallory and Irvine were last seen near Everest's second step. This is a 27-meter, 90-foot wall of rock. Climbing this section of Everest is extremely difficult, even with modern climbing equipment. Without the right tools, it is doubtful Mallory and Irvine were able to proceed to the top. No frostbite. Mallory and Irvine were near the summit late in the day. Climbers who reach the summit at this time need to camp at the top. If you do this, it is common to suffer from frostbite. But Mallory's body had no sign of frostbite. So what happened to Mallory and Irvine? Anker thinks they probably turned back just after the first step. When Mallory was going down, perhaps he accidentally fell. Irvine's body has never been found. Whatever happened, they will always be remembered as early Everest heroes.
The missing pilot. On July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan left New Guinea for Howland Island in the Pacific. This was the longest and most dangerous part of their trip around the world. Earhart had trouble shortly after takeoff. The weather was stormy, so she had to fly at 3,000 meters, 10,000 feet. Going this high, the plane used up gas quickly. After about 20 hours, Earhart and Noonan approached Howland Island. The island was only about 105 kilometers, 65 miles away. But the bright sun was shining in their faces, so they couldn't see it. Near Howland, a ship, the Itasca, was waiting. Earhart contacted the ship. "Gas is low," she said. The Itasca tried to maintain contact with her, but it got no response. Finally, the Itasca called for help. People searched for Earhart and Noonan for days. Despite great efforts, they found nothing. Answers to a mystery? What happened to Amelia Earhart? No one knows for sure. During the flight, she probably headed in the wrong direction because the sun was bright and it was hard to see. Perhaps she got lost. Soon after, her plane ran out of gas and she died at sea. Another idea is that she survived the plane crash, swam to an uninhabited island, and later died there. A more extreme theory is that she survived the crash and secretly returned to the US with a new identity. The first theory seems most likely. However, none of these ideas has been proven. Today, people are still investigating Earhart's and Noonan's disappearance. Noonan's body has also never been found. Whatever happened, Earhart probably died as she wished. "When I go," she said, "I'd like best to go in my plane."